Aloha, what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. I'm JayDreamerZ. Whew, if you're watching live, thank you so much for your patience while I got the new credits fixed up. So we're going to break down iPet Goat 2. This is going to be a fun one because I'm going to put your comments on the screen and I want us all to share what we think the symbolism means to us. What do you see when you watch this little cartoon? So I'm just going to get the volume fixed up here so we can all hear. All right, cool. So there's the volume. We'll add a little ambiance music in the background. All right, cool. All right, sweet. Hopefully it's not too loud or anything. If it is, let me know. We could turn it down. Whew, man. Thank you so much. I was trying really hard to get those credits done in time. It can be difficult though, but we got it done. So stay tuned after the presentation. Let me just pull up the live chat here and get that popped out. Pop out the chat. Boom. Man, thanks for being so patient. I appreciate everyone who's watching live. All right, sweet. Everybody can hear me. Looks good. Sounds good. All right, let's switch over. Now, before I begin, I do want to say that we're going to be watching someone else's copyrighted work. However, we're allowed to watch it. We're allowed to use it for the purposes of commentary and learning. But mostly we're going to be commenting on the video as we go here. So let me give some shout outs real quick. Everyone has been so patient. Wow, lots of people watching right now. I'm going to go quick. Whoever I see in the participants right now, we got Alex. Shout out to Alex, Cat Van Du, Coincidence Theorist, Commander Hector, CR User, IYQ2, Grin Reapers, Hans888, Jason Hand, Jen Tugon, Jillian Rachel, Jose Garcia, Julie Gardner, Just JP, LM Savvy, Nature Nurture, Pants on the Ground, Mr. Real Noodle, Piper Smith, Plasma Bear, Roberto Contreras, Rush, Sage, Salty Texas Ranger, Salty Siren, Sharon Bostock. A bunch of people are jumping in right now. I'm so sorry if I missed you. Sit, Pretty Baby, Southern Bell Rising, The Sophium, and Tiernan Spate, and Trueface Tony. All right, if you jumped in after that, I'm super sorry. So let's do this. Let's watch this movie together. Let's watch this cartoon. It's actually an animation. And if you want to put your comment about what we're watching on the screen, then just, if you can, type in J or at JayDreamerZ. It'll highlight here on my side in the chat, and I'll put your comments up on the screen, just like Joe Nugent just did. So let's get Joe's comment put up there real quick, and I'll give you an example. There we go. All right, cool. Let's see if we can get Joe's comment back up there. There we go. There's Joe. All right, there's Joe. We also got Piper Smith, who says blessings, pants on the ground. Excited to finally start. I'm so happy that you guys are so patient. Thank you so much. I was trying to make the credits look super cool and stuff, but I kind of messed it up a little bit, so I had to go back and fix it. Anyways, let's check this out. This is called iPet Goat Part 2, or iPet Goat 2. And it's originally done by a channel or by a group of people known as Heliofont. How's the music in the background, by the way? Is it okay? I want the music. I thought the music would go well. I didn't want to play their music, so I just kind of picked some of my own that I thought fit. So hopefully it's not too loud for my voice. Man, all right, sweet. Let's check it out. All right, so first thing we got is the goat. The goat pops his head. Obviously, the goat is like in some sort of caged area. What do you guys think so far? Coincidence Theorist says, Jay, the fence has tentacle vibes, right? Jason Hand says, how do we know who produced the iPet Goat series? I have no idea. I don't know. Let's see. Plasma Bear says the music's good. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, so we've got this goat that's sort of locked up in so it looks like a concentration camp or something. You know what I mean? It's in a box. And what is this? They got like a drawing of a guy, a guard or something with a dog down there. And then the goat starts doing the whole I'm hypnotized type deal. His eyes are spinning around. You see that? And we get the introduction, I Pet Goat Part 2. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Plasma Bear says it's got a FEMA feel to it. I totally agree. Right on, I Spy. Appreciate you. Rush says this goat video is foreshadowing by the hidden hand. Interesting. Yeah, it does seem like it would foreshadow some stuff here too. And if you check it out, Farida, thank you. I appreciate you. If you check it out, you can see that there is this barcode right where his pineal gland or pineal gland should be, right? 6 lights up there in the sky. Also, if I miss your comment, there's a lot of people watching right now, so just post it again. So we've got the goat who's locked up. What do you think the goat represents? Do you suppose that might be us, possibly, stuck in a box? In jail. Happy, comfortable, at home, right? So we're going to move forward in the thing. We start and we see like these sort of demonic looking reptilian long fingered with claws hands clearly holding on to like some sort of puppet master type deal, right? Like the strings, working the strings on the puppets. Goat doesn't look too happy, says Sage. I totally agree. And as you can see, did you see there was that ring up there? Hold on, let me put it back just a bit here. Watch this ring on the hand. You see that? It's got a little money symbol right there. So it represents whoever's rich. Somebody that's rich, apparently, right? Plasma Bear says, is this a callback to the goat book Bush read on 911? Yeah, I believe that's the reason why it might have been called that. So there's a book called I Pet Goat. Let's see, we got in the chat Kim Blanchard who says brainwashed tares from wheat, right? Separating the wheat from the tares. IYQ2 says, Jay, that's the cube in the UN prayer room, the one the goat's in. That's interesting. There's a prayer room in the UN. So, who are these strings controlling? There's a puppet of George Bush Senior. Is that right? Is that who that is? Or Junior? I don't remember. Yeah, Junior. So George Bush is wearing a dunce cap, which is really interesting. He's tap dancing with a star spotlight right behind him. You see that? And there's a black and white checkerboard floor. There's a teacher watching in the background. Now, this is exactly what George Bush was doing. You know, maybe not tap dancing and stuff, but this is what he was doing whenever all that stuff happened. He was in a classroom reading this I Pet Goat book during all of these things that were happening and going on. So remember, somebody is making him dance from above, right? Who do you suppose that could be? I like whoever said the hidden hand. That's a good one too. The ring is debt slave, says the coincidence theorist. Buck Doe says the S ring represents fiat currency and the use of currency to control humanity's hearts and minds. The Masonic floorboard. Kim checking out that Masonic floorboard. Hold on, there's a lot of stuff here. This stuff goes by so quick, doesn't it, right? Hey, shout out to London. Good to see you. All right, so check it out. There's a shark right next to his head. Look at all this interesting stuff. Do you see the little owl symbol up there? There's a hangman. There's some crude drawings on the background. But wait a minute. What is this map? Do you see that map in the background? So there's certain areas that are marked off on that map. Let's see if we can go back to it. Look at this. There's certain areas. One is... Oh, hold up. I got to fix that so we can see all the way here. Okay. Let's see. We're going to boom, pow, and then... There we go. Now we could see it a bit better. All right, I think that's it. That's pretty good right there. That's about the edge of it. So what is that, Oklahoma? So there's one marked off in Oklahoma, one in Louisiana at the very bottom, one in the Gulf of Mexico, and one up here where it looks like Manhattan. Oh, the owl, cyclical apocalypse. The owl symbolism. Good call, good call. All right, let's see what else we got. So Bush is wearing the dunce cap. His eyebrows look interesting. I think... Is it supposed to say USA on the eyebrows there? That looks like an S and that looks like an A. Maybe this is the U right there. That's interesting. All right. So the puppeteer is playing with George Bush here. Hold on, man. This stuff goes by fast. Jeez. Let's pause it. I want to catch what's up there on the... right above the chalkboard. All right, so check this out. On the chalkboard, you can see it's evolution, basically. So the fish turns into a monkey, turns into a man who develops weapons and stuff. And then after that, there's like a separator, and then there's an enlightened man. And right next to that is a clock that is hitting midnight. Also, some other stuff is kind of gross going on, but the midnight represents the apocalypse itself, right? Kim Blanchard totally called that one out. The clock is at 1 minute to midnight. Ooh, okay. So we're very close to the apocalypse is basically kind of what I'm getting from that. And let's see what else we got here. George Bush acting all weird. Sage says the black eye, 12 o'clock on the clock. Now check this out. There's some interesting stuff happening here too, right? There's a heart. There's a dragon, and the dragon is kind of overlapping the brain, and the brain is being split or divided in half by electricity. So for me, what I'm getting is that electricity in some form being used to divide the left brain from the right brain, to keep them separated so that they're not balanced out between one another, right? Which is what they do a lot of times in the schools, is they usually teach from the left brain aspect. 1-2 is in the chat and says, the ring looks like it's a snake as well. Can you pause on it? No, sorry. We got to move forward, otherwise it's going to take forever. Kim Blanchard says, DNA, the age of Aquarius. Coincidence theorist says, Jay, the member makes 13 abs, is shooting into ether or not. I have no idea what you're trying to say. I'm sorry. The member is also, and one more. I have no idea what you're saying. So we're just going to move forward a bit. All right. Now this part gets kind of creepy. I'm trying to catch up in the chat as I go too. I'm super multitasking. Oh, then he turns into Obama. Check that out. Isn't that interesting? Wow, you guys are coming up with some really good stuff. Kim says MK Ultra frequency, right? So he turns into Obama. Notice how he's wearing gloves too. Was he wearing gloves before? Let's check. Hold on. No, he wasn't. So then he turns into Obama, and then Obama is wearing gloves, white gloves, right? Which is also something that the Masons wear. So a lot of Freemasonic imagery that's going on here. Yeah. Controlled by the same master. So this is really interesting as well. Let's check this one out. We've got Alice from Alice in Wonderland. It looks like, right? She's laying there and she's holding an apple, which is the fruit from the garden. But she's also surrounded by this liquidy looking circle on the ground. What do you think that liquidy circle might be? Or what does that represent? I know it's Alice because you can see the white rabbit in the background behind her, but then we've got all these other children or other people that almost look like they're petrified or statues of some sort, right? These two are sort of fused together back here, and they're wrapped up in barbed wire, sort of like being stuck, like you stay there, you know what I mean? That's really interesting. Let's see. We got Ernie McCraven who says Hangman right next to the word evolve. Good catch. Good catch. Chaos Machine says the owl may symbolize the Bohemian Grove. Good catch. She represents the bride, somebody said too. All right. So now everything goes dark, right? Now the spotlight is on Alice. She looks down at the apple and it's almost like she's sad, right? So she's actually going to drop the apple here in just a second, and it's going to roll across the black and white floor, and it's going to stop right here, which is really interesting. Check this out. L in black, C in white. What do you suppose that stands for? LC on a black and white checkerboard floor with an apple right next to it. If that was a message, if that was a sentence, and these are our glyphs, these are our letters, what is that telling you? What do you get from that? The white rabbit represents fertility. Very good, very good. Mr. Real Noodle says the Dr. Evil pose. Yeah, when he's doing the Dr. Evil pose. Louis Martinez, where'd you go? Says JayDreamerZ, that's salt used for spiritual protection. It could be salt. I thought it had more of like a liquidy kind of look to it, though. All right, so the apple stops right next to Obama's feet, breaks open, and it starts to grow. Even though it's not underground or anything, the seeds start to grow and they connect to one another, which is interesting as well. What do you suppose the symbolism in the seed growing and then connecting and then making this plant in between the two of them is, right? I feel like we may have discussed something similar to this exact plant whenever we went over that movie. We did the Truth in Movies episode, Extinct. Remember that? When they had those 3 portal flowers? Stan Rutherford's in the chat and says, oh, I've been waiting for your point of view on this one. Right on. Well, I'm totally going to share my point of view. Now, I'm also going to get you guys' point of view too. I'm actually more interested in hearing what your points of view are and saving those points of view for posterity so that people can get more insight whenever they watch this video. So as that plant grows, Obama is worried. He looks super worried about this plant. So if Obama represents something along the negative spectrum, which it seems to be portrayed, then the plant represents something along the positive spectrum, right? Let's see. Sage says the burning house, twin towers, on the shark, angry men, no evolution. Let's see. We got L equals 12, C equals 3, also 12-3, the date. Interesting. The 2 seeds, the serpent and the elves, maybe? Eves? All right, so we zoom out of this classroom and we see, well, there was a flag there. I don't know if that was the American flag. What kind of flag was that? Oh, it was like a piece of it. So the American flag ripped in half and one half of it flew off over in that direction. This whole school is in a frozen area. The whole school is frozen over. Why? Do you think that the school might be somewhere, maybe it symbolically represents actually somewhere in the world that we live in? We got Yolanda, who's in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, I heard that Alice character as being Ivanka Trump. Okay, sweet. Why would it be Ivanka Trump? Trump. I wonder. Why would they put her in here? All right, so we zoom out. We can see that we're in some sort of frozen wasteland, some sort of frozen tundra. Let's see. Pathfinder. I like that. The lotus flower, the awakening. Very good. Yolanda again says parasite coming out of the moon. Interesting idea. Jared Poole. Hey, just gave me $20. I super appreciate you. Thank you. The Civil War flag ripped. Was that the Civil War flag? All right. So we've got clearly have the 2 towers right here, right? The 2 tower symbolism, just like, you know, that thing that happened on that particular time and date that we all know about, but can't really talk about. Then we got 1-2 in the chat who says, JayDreamerZ, the circle is a part of the Heliofont logo on the floor. Well, that may be, but what does that logo mean? You know what I mean? Let's go a little deeper. Why did they choose that particular logo? All logos express a message. They're representative of a message, of a vibe, of a frequency, of something that is being conveyed to somebody else. Just like my logos, right? My jellyfish, all the logos that I've created contain a message to the people. AI Ice, interesting. Stan Rutherford says, could the ripped flag be representation of dividing America through race, religion, political views, etc.? Very good one. It could be. Totally could be. Where was I? All right, let's play some more music here in the background. All right, cool. Let's move forward a bit. All right, so now those towers, those ice towers, or whatever we want to call them, come crashing down. What do you suppose the 2 towers? There's always this 2 tower symbolism, right? The 2 towers come down and typically they're replaced by 1 tower or 1 spire, right? What does that mean to you? What do you see when you're looking at that? Now take a look at this guy, this little puppeteer dude, this little god with the white face mask. He's doing some sort of a dance while this is happening, and then he jumps off into the water. What is the correlation between the guy dancing around, or this godlike sort of person or whatever it is, dancing around and doing this sort of rain dance looking thing while the towers are going down, and then jumps off into the water? What do you see when we look at that? Carla's in the chat and says, JayDreamerZ, the Heliofont logo is an acronym for the final eclipse. That's interesting. All right, moving forward, we got, it looked like there was Jesus in there for a second. I'm going to rewind this a bunch of times if I miss some stuff. Oh, so we've got fog. okay? Remember the fog symbolism, as we've discussed many times, and the mist, right? Ernie's in the chat and says the Dance of Destruction has a different mask every time. That is interesting. Let's see, we got Rush in the chat who says he's going back underground. Interesting. So we got Jesus entering in. Jesus is on a boat and he's making an appearance, but he's in the fog right now, which is interesting. And then we've got these Middle Eastern looking dudes on their own little iceberg. What was that dude's name? Osama. No, I'm so. That's very similar. Saddam. No, damn. What was this dude's name? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we got him with the red moon. The blood moon in the background. Now, I do believe he's wearing some sort of American insignia here, which to me suggests that, you know, maybe there's more to the story than we've been told. Louis Martinez says, JayDreamerZ, hey there to Distraction. Okay, sweet. Who else we got? The two towers mean 11. I like that. I like where you're going with that, Commander. All right, let's move this forward a bit. Okay, as you can see, oh, snap. Hold on. Okay, let me just... All right, in the background, you can see that there's some sort of oil deal that they're trying to, like an oil rig, and they're mining for oil or whatnot. There's a lot of ice everywhere, and this oil is dripping down into the ocean, right? So the ocean's in this particular area turning black because of the oil that's spilling out. Red Rose says, JayDreamerZ, two towers or pillars usually represents Janus, the Roman two-faced, sometimes three-faced god. Good catch, good catch. Oh yeah, that's right, Osama bin Laden. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, now we go to, there's an egg and there's an embryo inside of it, a human embryo inside of an actual, looks like bird egg or something, right? And there's a serpent that's holding on to it, and the serpent is inside of a television. We got Audacity in the chat who says, Jay, does this seem to follow a timeline of things that happened so it could show what will? So yeah, it's prophetic in nature, totally. All things are cyclical. So in that case, it's definitely prophetic. The Sophium says, Jay, the towers coming down is a changing of the guard. Interesting. Now check this out. We've got some sort of hand holding on to this. Weird serpentine-like creature has itself wrapped around this egg that has a human inside of it, which reminds me, you know, it's reminiscent of the Matrix and how Neo was born, basically. All right, then we've got, there's a lot of mixing between various cultures and belief systems and whatnot. We got Jesus coming in on the Egyptian boat once more. He's got a third eye that's drawn on his forehead. And then we've got this TV-looking reptilian thing turns into what looks like a human face now. And I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but it definitely looks like some sort of serpentine symbolism, right? Hybrids being created, says Mind of Inception. That's a possibility too. Anubis, very good catch on the boat, Anubis. All right, and then we got this egghead. Who do you suppose the egghead symbolizes, right? Now, is this supposed to be what was born out of the egg? Hold on, let me double check here. So here's the egg, here's the snake-looking dude, but then the snake-looking eyeball changes into this sort of genie-looking face dude, and then it's an egg. Egghead, actually. So his head is cracked open right there. He's laying on the ground, and there's this sort of serpentine television thing coming out of his head. What do you get when you see that? Chaos Machine 84 says the cosmic egg symbolism. Good one. Kim Blanchard says youth indoctrination. It sure does come across to me as youth indoctrination. What is going across his eyeballs here? He's seeing the NASDAQ. He's seeing war. So it looks like news and stuff are flashing through his eyes, right? And then we've got these interesting UFOs. Hold on, let's go back to those interesting craft. What are these craft made out of? What would you call that particular thing that's flying through the air? And we could say a UFO or some weird looking spaceship, but what is that if it was a tool in our modern day, right? Pathfinder says looks like black goo. Jay, the Neuralink. Oh, I like that connection. The cosmic golden egg, Brahma. Awesome. Christy Carroll says, right on, glad you're joining us. Jillian Rachel says, awesome episode for later. What? Okay. Thank you. All right, let's move forward. Okay, so they're destroying something in these ice cities, basically. It looks like a temple. Do you see that? How it's kind of like got the dome right there? Like a mosque or something? So they're shooting it and blowing it up. Sarah says it's been 22 years since that particular time has happened. Good call. A square, right? Very good. A square. The square and compass symbolism, right? All right, now we go to this woman in black. She's mourning. You can see that she's crying. Hold on. You can see that she's crying on her face, right? Her mascara, whatever that is running down her face right there. So she's crying. She's in mourning. And she's holding what looks like some dead kid or something who's wrapped up. So she's lost a child. Who does that child symbolically represent, right? She's also holding this vial. Do you see that vial in her hand? I actually just showed a very similar shaped vial in one of our last breakdowns when we talked about the glass onion or the glass onion vials, right? All right, now there's some sort of a weird bug that crawls onto this kid's face. He's got a black eye. One of his eyes is blacked out. And he's like wrapped up in some kind of linen and bleeding. There's a bug crawling all over his face. Rush says the Virgin Mary. The Virgin Mary symbolism, good one. I like that. Let's see. We got this kid whose eyes looks like his head is hollow and his eyes are lit up red on the inside. Is this an actual kid or is that like a robot? I can't really tell what this stuff is down here. But there's a bow right there. And this person has some sort of drawing or tattoo or whatever of like the skull and crossbones. Do you see that? Oh, now whoever this is untying the bow while the kid creepily stares right at us, right? Which tells me, especially from doing so many Truth in Movies episodes, that that particular part is very important. So it's actually, hold on, I'm gonna rewind that part. So this person is undoing this bow. What is that? What are they doing? What is this down here? Oh, it's a gun. It looks like it's a gift. Like there's some sort of a shotgun. Is that a shotgun? It kind of looks like a shotgun like they're opening a gift and the gift is a shotgun. And this kid looks like he's plasma possessed to me, right? Not good. All right, so we got Claire Sage who says the child is the ones who died from something. Sean Dugan says she is a Mary figure. Very good, very good. That's the Dome of the Rock where the third temple is supposed to be built when the Messiah returns in Judaism. Excellent catch. Excellent catch with the Dome of the Rock. Interesting dome symbolism a lot lately too, right? Eyes looking at the moon. It looks like Mother Mary. I totally agree. Louis Martinez says Iran and Russia recently created triangle kamikaze aircrafts. Interesting. I have not heard that. It's an AK-47. Okay, so it was some kind of a gun. Okay, I got you. All right, sweet. So then we've got these tanks and this person walking up to these tanks, waving a white flag, which is like the symbol for like peace and, you know, whatever. Now they've got on their back this tiger tattoo. What do you suppose the tiger symbolism is, right? What makes the tiger a symbolic element? Or what is it about the tiger that is symbolic, right? Now, this person turns around. She's fighting for peace. She's got a little symbol on her cheek that says no nukes, looks like. A little heart right there. It looks like she's been through some battles because she's kind of scraped up. And you can tell it almost looks like she's not really human, but like a doll or something, right? Turns around and sees the skeleton of death from Dia de los Muertos and fireworks all going off in front of her. Then she becomes sad. Then we turn our attention back over to Jesus, who looks like he's in some kind of trance, right? Looks like he's just chilling on his way to wherever he's going. Rage Against the Machine. Hey, thanks. Good to see you. Sarah says, JayDreamerZ, Skull and Bones, 322, 22nd of March, 2023, 322, 233. Also a palindrome. Right on. Thank you. Let's see. We got, who else? Man, I'm skipping a lot of people on accident. I'm sorry. Red Rose says, JayDreamerZ, the woman and the child in the purple bottle represent Ukraine and nuclear incident that happened a few years ago. It's not Mary. Well, how would you know it's not Mary unless you made the video? You know what I mean? Maybe it's not Mary to you, but to some other people, it definitely seems to have like a Mary symbolism, right? All right, so then we go back to Jesus, and he's chilling on the boat. I'm also trying to like totally get as many people in the chat as I can. There's a hazard sign on her face. Good catch. Good catch. Unlearn the system, says Jay. Have you noticed they usually make the moon extra large in the movies? I have noticed that. And I hear that the moon is supposed to be pretty big this month too, so keep an eye out for that. Also, if you did hear that Venus and Jupiter are going to be in conjunction with one another. Interesting things happening in the skies lately, right? Now, the TV's yelling at this egghead kid, shouting at him, yelling at him, screaming, and the kid's hooked up to the TV. So I imagine that the kid can hear this, whatever it is, right? Then we've got the Jesus figure who comes through all these multitude of doors and he breathes fire out of his mouth. Now, he goes through this tunnel, which also looks like the back of somebody's throat with the little, what is that called? The hangy deal that's in the back of the throat. I forgot what that's called. Louis Martinez is in the chat and says China uses tigers to symbolize their strength. Very nice. Oh, sweet. Right on. Thank you for the tip. Appreciate it. All right. So Jesus comes out of the tunnel. Looks like a mouth, doesn't it? Right? Doesn't look like the inside of a mouth of like a person or something. And did you see that little flash of electricity coming off of his body? And his body looks like it's turning into fire or something like that, right? And there's all this electricity that flashes off of him. Now there you can see the mouth shape, the back of the throat shape again, right? Let's see, we got Aaliyah. Aaliyah's in the chat and says, the Jesus figure seems to glide through all of this, the whole show seemingly unscathed on his boat. Good call, good call. Now we've got this, looks like a Hindu god who's doing another type of dance. That's the same masked figure, but he's just wearing a different mask, just like someone pointed out. Gadayan says, that's like the Illuminati all-seeing eye on Jesus's forehead, third eye. You can see the golden rays forming the pyramid. Good catch, good catch. The Sophium says, Jay, the birth of the new program after the bringing down of the older age. Very nice. All right, so we got Jesus. All these fish are starting to jump into the boat at Jesus's feet. What does that symbolize, do you wonder? Sean says, Jay, TV, Satan, serpent programming, and the guilty conscience. Very good, very good. All right, I got to rock the music some more. All right, sweet. So we go back to Jesus. He's still in his trance mode. Is that Sheba? Louis Martinez wants to know, is that Sheba? I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it again. Kim says it is Shiva. Buckdo says, Jay, it's inside of a woman's area. He's being born. Is that what that is? That's possible. That is definitely a possibility. I mean, there's definitely some body parts going on here, right? So yes, definitely can see that the hand was pointing at this particular body part, right? Now, I will throw out my 2 cents because there's a lot of graphic type of imagery or whatever artistically shown to us. It can mean just base sexual symbolism, but could it also mean something about the world, right? If you think about Mother Earth and Father Sky, right? Wouldn't they also have corresponding body parts to them, right? Especially if we're talking about the apocalypse or the cosmic marriage. Now, what's this old lady doing, right? There's this old prostitute type of a woman, it looks like they're trying to portray her as. It even has a little neon heart that's lighting up and flashing, and she's locked away inside of this body part that is directly, oh my God, that is directly underneath. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. You might as well just tell me what you think the symbolism there is. All right. Now check this out. This is Jesus, right? In his cave or whatnot. It's starting to fall apart. And you can see that there's sort of this double helix type of a thing that leads up to what looks like this wheel above him, which is like sort of a stained glass look to it, right? All right. Let me jump back in the chat. Soy Free Thoughts, what's up, bro? Says JayDreamerZ fish equals Pisces. Hey, also, if you want to come play some video games, just shoot me a text, man. I've been wanting to play some video games with you. All right, let's see. We got Kim Blanchard who says, Jay, the cross at the top, the Knights Templar, very good. Mars Pop says, Jesus figure has a solar plexus homunculus, very nice. Oh, whoa, I never even noticed this. I happened to pause it right on this part. Did you notice this? It's got like all these cloud-looking businessmen clones of one another. See how they're all holding these little packages or whatever? Jamie Johnson says, the dancing blue guy. Jay, you're talking about it the other day with the blue gods. Very good. I like that you caught on to that. Rush says, Jay, where... Oh, I see what you're saying. The Whore of Babylon. Very good. That's actually very, I would say that exact same thing too. All right, we got Plasma Bear says the sleeping Jesus is the unwoken Christ consciousness. The woke Christ who comes is the enlightenment, which was alluded to in the classroom. Very good. Ernie McRaven says just like some older women getting their monthly yet again because of certain procedures. Oh, okay. Interesting. So this basically is for all the people that are talking about the certain procedures and all that stuff. Then that means that this video was indeed prophetic, if it's in reference to that, right? We got the burning heart of Jesus. Now, where did Jesus just come out of? I missed that. Hold on. So there's all these little smoke people. Jesus comes up out of the smoke people. Boom. There's some sort of explosion or blast or something. The serpent gets scared. The TV serpent gets terrified and looks like he runs away from the egghead. The egghead stands up. Shiva the Destroyer, says Hans. Great one. Red Rose says, JayDreamerZ, the clones looking statues are presidents. One is Putin, and there's Trump in there as well. Really? I'm going to have to double check on that one. That's pretty cool. So the egghead gets up. What's he going to do, I wonder? Let's see. There's some other kids. There's another kid. Oh, check that out. Wait a minute. Let's check out this moon that they have. That does not look exactly like the moon. What is going on with this moon, right? So we've got this kid who's up here dancing and twirling about. Hold on. Let me take that comment down real quick. What is going on here? So there's a reflection of the moon in the water. There's this tower. Oh, this is exactly where that dome was broken. Remember? They showed they were the Dome of the Rock, as somebody had called it, right? And there's this kid in white spinning around, coming up out of the Dome of the Rock. Then we go back to the dancing God creature doing the dance of death or whatnot. Louis Martinez says, is that Jesus destroying the markets of men? Interesting. All right, so we got this character who's in there dancing around. Rush says, Egghead is free after the media scurried. Excellent. I'm glad that you caught on to that. The Sophium says, Jay, Jesus comes up out of the ash like the Phoenix reborn. I like that connection too. Good connection. All right, this dude's doing a dance in front of the fire and he keeps changing his mask. Do you see that? Now he's got sort of a crow-looking face mask going on there. Now the mask is gone. Man, some of this stuff flashes by so fast, doesn't it? Hold on, I'm going to play that one a bit slower. All right. Here's his face in one image. Let me catch up in the chat too. Here's his face in one image. And then here is some sort of frozen gargoyle looking thing that's on top of this building where Jesus comes out. Now that one I would say looks more like the female body part than the other one. The other one to me looked more like the back of the throat, right? So Jesus, oh, do you see that? He's on fire and a little lotus flower pops out right there behind him, right? One jewelry guy says, JayDreamerZ, the moon reflection as above, so below. Hey, let's check out that moon again real quick. I feel like I skimmed over that a little too fast. Check out this moon. What is going on here? I want to see this moon again. Okay, so this guy looks like he's coming up out of the broken dome, which also resembles an egg. There's some egg symbolism happening in this video, right? And he rises up to the full moon directly above. What do you suppose that might symbolize? How interesting. Look at how they chose to make the moon look too. I really like this part. That's interesting. All right, now we're going to skip forward. We got, let's see. Soy Free Thoughts. Businessmen in clouds could represent the internet market. Clouds equal Wi-Fi. Excellent. Good connection. Good connection. All right, so we got this guy doing his little dance of death. Jesus is going to come out. Watch down here because you're going to see that flower pop right out. Did you see that? There's flowers all behind him. All these lotus flowers are popping out where Jesus was, right? Now let's freeze this on Jesus's face, right? Now I find it interesting that they chose a color that's making him look like he's more of a Simpsons character, you know? And this is interesting too. Check it out. You've got the eye. Typically the eye has the light shining downward, that the light is actually coming from the eye. This eye has the light shining upward with the pyramid on the top of the head. What does that mean to you? Dark Light Empath is in the chat. It says, JayDreamerZ, whirling dervishes are a classic image of Turkey spinning serenely in their tombstone-like felt hats and billowing white robes. Good catch. Now, check this out. In the background, you're also going to see that there is like this cathedral also that has a couple of towers on it, right? With the central cross. One of the towers goes down. Does the other one? It does. Look at that. The other tower's falling as well. Still kind of halfway up. Nope, this whole building is crushed. This whole cathedral's coming down. And okay, as much as they flash on stuff, they left it on this particular scene for quite some time, right? Chaos Machine 84 says, Jay, the moon may be a holographic projection of our Earth. That's interesting. I've heard that theory before a few times. I like it. I like how that's going. I would like to hear people like kind of expound upon like how that's physically possible for it to reflect the Earth, though. Just so I can get a better understanding myself of how that actually physically works. Jaundice, Jesus, Janus. Interesting. We got Kim Blanchard who says Notre Dame Cathedral. That was the Notre Dame, Notre Dame, right? Our Lady, Notre Dame. Now check this out. We've got Jesus is about to take his boat into the sun. If you look in the background, there's the 3 pyramids in the background, but there's water everywhere. It's not desert. That's interesting. And right up here, do you see that? That looks to me like a scorpion's tail, like a gigantic scorpion's tail. The falling of the church. I do believe that does represent the falling of the church, that religion is done away with. Kind of like REM talks about, they say losing my religion, right? Now check that out. The sun knocks off the capstone of that pyramid and it crumbles. The whole thing comes down and all this fire is shooting out of the sun. It's going to actually shoot a bit more fire and start destroying more things. You see all that? All that fire that's coming out of the sun itself? As we've talked about a few times, how the sun can and may become dangerous here in our near future. I believe you're also going to start seeing a lot of cosmic phenomenon that's happening up there in the skies, lots of different types of lights and auroras and things like that. Steven says it's on the bottom because he is the foundation. Good catch, good catch. Larry Tinsley says, Jay, that's the prophetic of Notre Dame being destroyed. Yeah, Notre Dame caught on fire, didn't it? Right? And brought to you by Heliofont. Helio, I believe, meaning sun. And font, I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say priest, possibly. Can't remember. But that was the presentation. I'm just going to go ahead and let it roll here in the background while I jump into the chat with all of you. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that go. This time, I'm just going to let it play. I had no idea there's going to be so many people. All right, sweet. Kim Blanchard says, flooding. Coincidence theorist says, Jay, jaundice is Jesus's yellow skin, hence Janus. I got you. Okay. Multiple domes, says Aaliyah. Awesome. Louis Martinez says solar flares. That's right. At the end, we had those solar flares, right? All right. We got, let's see, Sean. Hey, Mr. Donuts. Welcome to my channel. Sean's in the chat and says calcium fluoride equals moon mineral. The eggshell human cells. Walls, fluoride is flux. Kim Blanchard says that was fun. I'm glad you had a good time. Sage says, Jason Hand, glad somebody else noticed. Let's see. We got Bogus B says, aren't you supposed to be breaking it down? No, I'm not supposed to be breaking it down. You're supposed to be breaking it down. I could easily break this whole thing down. It would probably take about 2.5 hours to go over all the stuff that I personally see in this video. But this is a presentation mostly for all of you so that you can record your thoughts in the live chat and in the comments section so that other people can see what you saw, because a lot of people will miss half these things, right? We've missed half the things already. That was too fast for me, right? I'm not comfortable going that fast, but this was just a practice run, we'll say, right? But yeah, I'm not supposed to be breaking it down or anything. I will be doing a new Truth in Movies. We're going to do The Fifth Element, possibly tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Fifth Element is, look at him do his little wink. That total obvious wink, right? Kapow! Like definitely winking at you. All right. Yeah, so that was pretty much it. All right, hold on. Let me get rid of this video here. I'm super sorry about being late to the live stream because I was fixing up the credits. I just want to give everyone a parting comment. If you guys have anything else to say before we wrap things up. We got Pathfinder who says, Jay, this was fun. Thank you for doing this. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I feel like I might want to do something like this again, except maybe next time I won't stop and get everybody's opinions or try to get everybody's opinions. I had no idea there's going to be so many people that had so many opinions on it, which is great. So great to see. Which means that the comment section is probably going to be super filled up with lots of people's perspectives. Stan says, I see a lot of Mason symbolism. I do too. I think a lot of us do. Louis Martinez says, I just realized that the puppeteer goes to Bush when his head starts spinning, the puppet string appears and then Obama switches. Very interesting. Enter the Stars has covered this. Sweet. Right on. So am I. So am I right now. Presently. All right. Cool. Let's see. What else we got? Clicking Clicky says GJ. Come across IGO 1 and 2 recently, and I love them. I didn't know if there was a part 1, right? I mean, I know that there's the book. Coincidence theory says F equals minus F is balancing of satisfaction and the sadist faction. Okay, I could see that. I think it also represents some sort of property of energy. I can't remember off the top of my head. Geo-libertarian, hey, thank you for $5. I super appreciate you. All right, well... Oh, I didn't even see your comment. Let's read that. Geo-Libertarian says, have you ever looked into the FE plasma moon theory from the YouTube channel Vibes of Cosmos? By the way, I love your channel. You are awesome. Hey, thank you. I super appreciate you. No, I have not. Well, I may have come across that channel. I skip from channel to channel while I do my research. Certain things come up and certain channels are recommended and whatnot. I'm glad that you guys have your favorite YouTubers that you enjoy watching so much. Maybe I should do a segment where I'm just like, hey, like let's give shout outs. You know what I mean? Let's hear all of your shout outs about what channels you like to watch and why. I think that would be appropriate. But no, I think I have seen that particular video because I've also been researching I have researched the FE moon map or whatnot. It's very difficult to get information on it just because of it's very diluted. You know what I mean? There's so much stuff that pops up, especially people who are just all those videos that are anti-FE subject matter or whatever, like those always pop up. But yes, I do like the moon map idea. It's just that for me personally, I can't understand how it actually reflects. You know what I mean? Like what is causing the reflection? I have a lot of questions about it. So that's why I don't really go into that theory too much. And I don't watch that channel enough to, you know what I mean, tell people like, hey, go subscribe to that guy's channel or whatever. You know what I mean? No offense or anything. I'm sure it's a good channel. But I before I give any other shout outs to any other channels, like I feel like I've that's come back to bite me in the butt a couple of times. So anyways, thank you though. Regardless, thank you. I super appreciate all of you guys sharing all of your information and stuff. Let's go ahead and roll the credits. I'm going to go ahead and do that and jump back into my studies of this next movie that we're going to break down. Should be amazing. Okay. The Fifth Element. I hope to see all of you there and we'll have a blast. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.